as Arashtak lets loose this massive attack, this spell is let loose, and the strange, fleshy little metal-covered meatball falls to the ground with a squish. And in the distance, Karun is opening up doors further into Kaneepo's lair. Beyond the door, I'll say this would be Karun, potentially Yara and Adronis. You both can make me a perception check.
Perception is perception. Okay. 16.
Okay. Adronis, this is not that hard to see beyond the door. You can see this sort of insect-like humanoid creature. Let's see if you are able to see this.
I can see it. Ooh.
Showing
Don't want to see it.
Yeah, I'm
Never
showing
mind.
the stream there. You see this creature that has some glowing runes on their carapace. They are rather humanoid shaped, and for a moment, Adronis, you think you hear something similar to the way that you have heard Karun speak to you. You hear a "No! My paintings!" And you see the creature in the distance rush off. Arcelia, it's your turn.
I am bleeding heavily from the lacerations put upon me by that strange metallic ball spherical creature that we've recently felled. I don't really have much else I can do. I raise my morning star and I try to smack it across this person.
Okay.
26.
Oh, 26. Very nice. You see Captain Sala try to raise her shield to block, but you are too fast, striking for 6 bludgeoning damage. Very nice.
I believe that I used my exploit vulnerability, so that will be an additional 2 damage.
Excellent.
As soon as I swing it again.
That one, unfortunately, does connect with the shield and bounces off. You do not get a solid hit there. You do hear a grunt of pain from the first attack from Captain Sala, though. Ah!
All right. I am trying to look up quickly the option to try to knock her down. I think I can do that. Trip?
That might be required with certain weapons.
All right. Well, then I will try to... Okay. I don't think that's going to do much here. I will swing a 3rd time.
Yeah, so trip is a possibility, but you have to have one hand free, and your target can't be more than one size larger than you.
All right.
So I think you have stuff in both your hands, right?
Yes, I have my shield.
Okay, a 3rd Morning Star Strike. Again, it connects, I think, again with the shield, and it's blocked in a way where you don't feel it make a solid connection.
Okay.
All right. Still remaining inside the smoke bomb thrown by Karun, Bolin Nagaso will, I think, throw out another ray of frost. Let me just double check. Out of that. Ooh, could do that. Could do that. Yeah, Bolin. And 1, 2, 3. Yep, that will reach. Bolin will begin to hold his hands on his staff, placing his staff out in front of him. You can see his hands begin to glow with a flame enveloping them. And he releases his hands from his staff, and his staff stands straight up. And as he does, he holds his hands out from his body and unleashes burning hands. Okay, and this is versus Captain Sala's reflex DC. Let's see here. That's rough. Okay. I think that does nothing on a fail, right?
I think it's half for a basic. Let me see.
Doesn't say anything for the rest of that attack.
If it doesn't, it's a basic save. Failure. Oh, no. Success, you take half.
Okay. So 4 fire damage on Captain Sala. Okay. As the fire extends from Bolin's hands, Captain Sala exclaims in pain. Now, sort of looking towards this smoke, trying to figure out what's going on. As the fire crackles and dissipates. Okay. Karun will close the door. And then rush over to the other room and close that door. And
Good.
that's it for Karun's turn. I think. She yells, "Hey guys! So there was like another creature in that place. I heard something in my brain, and they said something about paintings. So I'm not sure if we go in there." And that's it for Karun's turn. Captain Sala. Oh, and I still need you to take your bleed damage, Arcelia.
I've taken it for her with my life link.
Okay.
So what does that look like as I'm bleeding profusely?
Well, I believe that both of us would kind of light up a little bit. The scars on my face that have opened up, they'll emanate with this blue light, and you'll feel that twinge of pain, but you'll notice that I'm starting to bleed too. Are you all right, Arcelia?
You don't look so good.
I think your bleed ticks down to 2 now, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Okay, and Captain Sala, looking towards the smoke, is going to potentially be a little bit more worried about whoever's in the smoke. No, we'll stay on you, Arcelia. Okay. There will be some spear attacks headed your way. Good luck.
All right. Just as a reminder, I have taken Esoteric Warden, so I do get a circumstantial +1 bonus to my AC for the first time.
That's good.
And they get -1 on air attacks. So
That is good. Need all those things.
doesn't matter.
That's still gonna hit.
Yep. That is a 29 to hit. Is that a crit?
No. I'm basically at a 20, equivalent of a 23.
Nice. Okay. For 9 piercing damage, however.
I take it to the gut, and I fall down.
No.
And Captain Sala will rush towards the smoke with a move. Hold on, I need to check on something. Nope, can't use that. That's 3 actions. Yeah, we'll rush towards the smoke, and we'll take a penalty to try to attack the whatever just through fire. And this will be with the spear. This is going to have a penalty on it. That is a miss with a 12. And
11. Wait, what is his what is his AC?
Bolin?
Yes.
I mean, it was a fail anyway. Yeah, he's good. He's good. I mean, it's what you were gonna further debuff her.
Oh no. I mean, it's an 11 technically, but I was just wondering. I was just wondering what his AC was in general.
It's still too low. Okay, that is it for Captain Sala's turn. Yara, it is your turn.
Okay, I'm just trying to look up really quickly whether or not I need to first do administer first aid before doing battle medicine on someone who's fallen in combat. I don't believe I need to do both, but I'm unsure.
Good question. Let's see. Rules.
They will still be wounded if I use battle medicine regardless.
So, okay. Yeah, there's a specific stop bleeding condition from administering first aid. I don't know. I'm assuming bleeding still is going on when somebody is dying, and I think it makes dying condition 2, if I'm not mistaken, instead of 1. Arcelia.
All right. So I am unsure if I need to first handle that then with the first aid. Right, I'm just going to go ahead and do that regardless. I am going to make a bolt for it, so I will be using an action to run up to Arcelia.
Okay.
Arcelia! No! And I'm fumbling with my kit, and I will go ahead and I will administer first aid. I believe this is a 5 plus the creature's recovery roll DC. So it says about 15 plus its dying value, so 17?
Yes. Do 17.
All right. 23.
Oh!
Arcelia! And I'm patching up these wounds. I'm trying desperately, and with that, I will also go ahead and administer my battle medicine, which is going to take place as a treat wounds. Only it will not remove the the wounded condition if she recovers. That is another. Okay, so that is treat wounds. Yes, I need to hit a DC of 15 as well. I am going to use a hero point in order to reroll that. 15 on the dot. Arcelia, wake up!
Oh, clutch turn.
That's going to be 9 points of healing. Arcelia, please. Arcelia, are you all right?
I'm breathing.
Okay. All right, let's get you to your feet. Come on, lean on me.
Okay. So, you are now immune to battle medicine for 1 day, Arcelia. And attempt a medicine check with the same DC as tree wounds, restore corresponding amount of hit points. Oh yeah, so you healed for 9 HP. Okay.
Yes.
Alrighty. Adronis, it is your turn. You see Yara leap onto the table that Arcelia has fallen onto and is, holding her and patching her up.
Okay. I'm going to get them both and say, well, drastic times for cause some drastic things. And I'm going to run and jump up on this table and do a performance flip in the air to get a better angle on the centaur.
Okay.
And flashily come down with a...
Give me an acrobatics check.
Attack. 15.
Okay. Do you have a requirement for your panache? Let me see here.
It says anything that requires me like tumble through or acrobatics wise, I should get a +1 circumstance bonus.
Okay.
While I have panache. My God, my window is stuck on my mouse. What the heck?
Let's see here. Acrobatics, probably a balance, I would say.
What are you looking for?
I am trying to figure out what the DC is going to be. It's not hard. Yeah, 15. Yep, you're good.
Okay.
Yep. You just did one of those like side leaps, like those side
parkour,
those side flips that you see people do onto the table.
Yeah. And I'm going to come down. It's 26.
Excellent. Absolutely. That is a hit. Captain Sala can't turn quickly enough. You get a quick strike with your rapier.
And then I'm going to be like, either you stop this or you die. And I'll go again.
Such is everyone's lot in life.
I'm going to this time, since seeing Yara in a panic and Arcelia on the ground, go with a precise strike finisher.
That is 13. A miss.
So she'll take half damage because of confident finisher. She'll take 3.
Alrighty.
And then I am going to look back at Yara and Arcelia and wink and be like, if something happens, take care of yourselves. And I am going to try to tumble through behind.
I think your finisher does that not require an action?
Wait, you're right. I think you're right.
Because you did move, attack.
Yeah.
Finisher.
I did move. Right. Okay, that'll be it.
Okay.
I'm stuck on the table. Okay, cool.
Alrighty, Arash talk.
Yes. Oh dear. Well, I don't have a lot left that I can do, but I will do what I can. Namely, I will open up my hand out, and almost as if I'm gathering any insects nearby, send them out to buzz and bite at the centaur, hoping beyond all hope it will maybe affect it. They must make a fortitude save of 14.
Okay.
Nothing happens.
Yeah, that's a natural 20, buddy. Sorry.
All right, and
I think they just kind of head over to the light from the candles and maybe the stove. They're like, ooh, light, and go that way.
It wouldn't affect it. No, I'll look at that, yes. Then I just move to the other side of the table, slowly edging my way towards the door.
Okay. Arcelia, you are currently prone.
I actually would have moved to right before Captain Sala because I went down.
What do you mean? Oh, you're right. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No worries.
That
I
is
didn't
a
want to
thing.
interrupt.
That is a
I go
thing. I
before.
totally forgot it. Oh, before. Got
Yes.
it. Got it. Okay. Bolin is going to twirl his staff and try and strike at Captain Sala with the staff. Okay, first attack is a miss. He goes for one of the legs of Captain Sala and just raises her hoof up and misses on the first strike. Spins and will try to strike again, this time upwards. An 8 is a miss. And then... Bolin will use an innate ability, because I still can use this. And you begin to see the spear of Captain Sala begin to overgrow with as the wood of the spear begins to sprout small branches and will try to wriggle free of Captain Sala's grasp. And this is a reflex save. That is a save. Unfortunately, Captain Sala maybe just brushes the branches aside and stops them from overgrowing and wiggling free. That is it for Bolin's turn. Karoon will say, "So what's the plan here, guys?
You need to help us.
Like what kind of help? Like, kind of like encouragement and support?"
No damage and danger! Hurt the thing!
Fight!
Maybe a strongly worded letter.
A punch in the face! Some acid!
I have some of those things. Okay. I don't really like fighting, but,
We can tell.
we might
Hurry.
be dying, so maybe I'll do it a little bit. Let's see, what does Karoon have left?
She should have a lot left, considering she doesn't. Okay.
Not a lot.
We did fight that bird thing.
You guys have been fighting a lot. Okay. I know what I could do. You guys look really hurt and stuff. And Karoon will rush over. Can't get that far. 2 turns. Yeah, will probably rush over to I think right behind you, Adronis, with 2 actions, and then we'll give you... Here, drink this. It's really good for you and probably won't cause any headaches or weird appendages to grow from your butt.
Ugh. I don't have a choice, and I'll take it and whatever. Drink it.
Okay, and Karoon hands over a minor elixir of life. So you will be able to drink this on your turn.
As a
Or
bonus
actually-
action or a regular action?
Yeah, it'd be a regular action. Karun is gonna hold on to it in case you go down. But it's like she's handing it to you, but you're kind of in the path of potential attack here. Yeah, she's like handing it over to you. Okay, Arcelia.
All right. Since she's distracted in the moment, I would like to pull out one of my torches and light it. I'll drop my Morning Star and go about lighting a torch.
This will be 2 actions.
All right. Very good.
Because you have to pull it out of your bag, and then...
Yeah. I begin to light it as quickly as I can, and then I will rush over 5, 10, 15, 20. Would this count as flanking?
Directly below Adronis, 3 squares would. Because Bolin is opposite.
All right. Now flank, and I will try to push the flame towards her.
Okay.
Perhaps this might demoralize her in some way. That will be my turn.
Okay. Currently frightened already.
She can't be frightened again, by the way. I know we're learning, but once she is frightened, she can't be frightened again for 10 minutes.
I've introduced an element of fire. I think some of the things on her might be potentially flammable. That's the end of my turn.
Okay. Captain Sala is currently flanked and is flat-footed. Let's see here. That is a -2 to AC, but I think there's a penalty to attack as well. No. Okay. Captain Sala is not too happy about getting stabbed, getting lit on fire, and probably does not notice you, Arcelia. Definitely noticed Adronis stabbing her in the back. Let me see. Okay, that's kind of on the line. Just roll again. I'll roll again. That's the answer. Okay, we'll stick with Bolin. And we'll try and strike out at Bolin. With the spear again. That is a hit. Currently has a -1 from the frighten, and that's it. That is
Was there a
hit.
-1 from the esoteric, or is that only against you?
It's only against me.
Bolin is not hit because currently concealed by the smoke. Just barely missed. Just barely. Second attack, however. That is a crit, unfortunately, for Bolin. That is not the right window to roll that. Let's try that again.
Jesus.
Oh, no. You hear a... and a collapsing to the ground. Captain Sala then turns towards you, Adronis, and will strike at you with the third spear attack. That is a miss.
I'll just lift my leg up and kick the spear away.
Yara.
And that is a hostile action. She is no longer feared.
Yara.
All right.
Well, at the end of my turn, she loses spear.
I look between all of them. I'm going to go ahead and just take this as an opportunity to grab Adronis by the arm and start patching up some of his wounds using battle medicine on him. which will be another roll of treat wounds here. 17 with 12 points of healing for you.
Oh, thanks. You stay back.
Of course. With that also being said, I'm going to go ahead and I will,
That is so good.
I know, it's so awesome, isn't it? It's so awesome. And having the medic dedication too. Chef's kiss. I am then going to go ahead and take this as an opportunity. Did I see Bolin fall?
No, Bolin is concealed by the smoke. You heard it. You heard something happen. You heard the scream.
Would I be able to, I would assume that I would be able to garner the direction of which this scream came in. It's in the fog, right?
It's in the smoke, yeah.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make my way into the fog here and see if I can find Bolin. Am I able to, would I have to roll for this or would I be able to find him?
You're going to have to do a perception check.
Of course. All right.
This is going to cost you an action, too.
That's a 12.
No.
Bolin! Shit. And that is my turn.
Adronis.
Bolin is there. Okay. I'm going to puts me there if I do that. Okay, I'm going to tumble through to this location.
Okay.
That'd be, what's that? Is that acrobatics?
Mm-hmm.
24.
Okay.
Right.
Hold on.
I gain panache back.
Yep. That is a success.
And I will attack.
Actually, it's a critical success. Hold on. Let me see if you get some special bullshit. Let me see if you get some special.
So
there is a lot of stuff that like that though in this game. So
yeah,
I want to check.
I know like performances are, but
nah, no critical success for this, unfortunately.
Yeah. Okay, and I have 2 actions left, so I'm going to attempt to disarm. And that will be a athletics check.
Athletics to disarm, yes.
15.
Okay, this is versus reflex, I think.
44.
You never know. 18, unfortunately.
Yeah, it was like
she hangs
was
on.
13.
Where do you think you're going? She turns around.
And I'm going to. I don't know, how many times can you attempt to disarm someone? Probably once a round, right? I would think. If you could keep doing it, it's kind of broken, it seems. Let me look.
Disarm.
I have to look it up.
It does not.
You can, I think.
Yeah, you
it's
can.
just you're
just
using up an
requires-
attack or action.
Yep.
I mean, right now, that's
It's
better
not a bad
than
idea.
attacking. And I'm going to.
You also have to have the right weapon for it. So
Yeah,
your weapon has to have the disarm tag. So it's not something everybody can do all the time.
That's true. That's true. I'm going to.
Even if you can, technically they can just pick it up.
Yeah, but that's a whole action for them to pick it up, right?
Right. You
Yeah.
sacrifice an action so that they sacrifice an action.
I'm gonna strike out. I'll strike out this time.
Ooh.
I'm gonna use 0 point because this is not a good time. question. I had 2 hero points last time. I used 1 hero point. Does that other hero point that I had left over carry over, or
Yes.
is it? Oh, okay. So I still have 2. All right, cool.
Hero points just max out at 3. That's
Okay, I was
that's
making
the
sure.
deal.
All right, so I still have 1
you
left.
You need a minimum of 1 if you want to cancel your dying condition.
Got you. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna use a hero point for this. All right, that's a lot better.
That is a lot better. However, it's not good enough. Captain Sala will raise her shield as a reaction, and you will strike out at the shield. Clang.
Damn. She'll give us
How
a
is
nice
that shield looking after a couple of hits on it?
It's taking some hits.
Okay. I tumble through, I disarm it, and that's it. I'm like, curses! That'll be it. And she loses fear.
Very well. Rashtak.
Yes. I don't have much left, but I will do what I can. My claws begin to ice over as I attempt a ray of frost upon this flat-footed centaur. Now, I do note...
No longer flat-footed.
Bolin went down.
Yeah.
I see. Fair enough. Nonetheless, we'll see if I did this right. It was actually not counting some of my proficiency bonus the entire time. Which is great. That is not. That is... Oh, is that actually... I don't think it matters regardless.
15 is a miss.
Yes. Trying to see where... Yeah. I think I'm going to re-roll that with the hero point.
Okay.
Because it's the only spell that can do very much. So it'd be 5 cold damage, but the is getting re-rolled for a critical.
Okay. Yeah, roll
Critical damage is double specifically on this. So this would be 12 damage.
Very nice.
And they take a minus 10-foot status penalty for speed for a round.
How do you kill Captain Sala?
My hand frosting over, I put far more magic than I intended into this spell. As I begin to crack and freeze her shoulder, and it crawls up her neck, freezing her head entirely before it cracks and crumbles.
Is it over?
Is everyone all right?
Sit down.
Where is Bolin?
I fall. The smoke should be gone by now. I don't know how many rounds that thing lasts.
One minute, I
Yeah,
think.
it lasts a while, a minute.
So in like 12 seconds, it goes away.
Yeah. Starts to slowly dissipate. You see Bolin on the ground.
Shit.
No.
I rush to him and I check on him. Is he already gone, or is he fighting death?
Give me a medicine check.
22.
Bolin is already dead.
How's it looking?
Is he all right?
My face drops as I look up to you all.
It's a shame. What he had, what was coming to him was coming to him. It's how fate works, Yara. Now, I ask you, take all of his teeth out. What? We may need it on the way back. It's what he would want it.
Could be good like a currency, you know. I
Yes.
can use any extras that you don't want either.
That's...
I'm going to dig through his pockets.
Okay. Make a perception check for me.
21.
All right. Bolin has a bunch of stuff. Oh, that's rough. You find
2 copper.
Yeah, I rolled a 1 on the gold. 1 gold piece, 4 silver pieces, 2 copper pieces. You find a dagger, hide armor, a leaf mask, and his staff is carved with runes.
That could be useful. I'd limp
Anything
over.
I can take a look at, you know? And
Yes,
pretty crafty and all.
I will hold on to the leaf mask, as we should use this for proof, I believe.
Yes. Yes.
I want to look through this centaur in front of me, since I'm right next to her.
Sure, perception check.
Yara, if you are looking for the key, Bolin said that it was already given to Kaneepo.
Ew.
8.
Okay.
See.
Do you show Karun the stuff?
Yes.
Okay.
I will pick up the staff if no one objects.
Oh yeah, that's a magical staff, I think.
I had a feeling.
That is a +1 staff. I don't think any of this other stuff is any real use though. You know, with the spear hole in the hide armor and all.
We can open up the bag of holding. Take it for later then. At least it might sell for something. Get something back.
Yeah, maybe. Dronus, you don't find any loose change or anything. However, you do find a damaged breastplate. You find a longsword. 1 spear. A steel shield that is at 10 HP. And this strange cloak that Captain Sala is wearing. It looks like it's made of almost like Venus flytraps or something strange.
Oh. Well, I will pick up the cloak. And does it roll up or does it move? Or...
It does move a little bit as you try to move it, yeah.
As long as it doesn't bite me or anything, I'll pick up the cloak and roll it up to the best of my ability. And
Why not wear it?
wear this?
Yes.
If it eats me, put saliva on me.
It did not.
Saliva. I want to look at the saliva. Can I gather some of the saliva?
You can. Well, you can look at it and let me know if it's of use to me. If it is, then I will wear it, and you can get the
How
saliva.
could saliva not be of use, you know?
Okay, it's fine. Take a little bit of saliva. Don't hurt it. Or
Ooh.
if it's alive.
Oh, it's all wiggly. Let's see. Oh yeah. This is like a another magical thing, you know?
Oh.
So I think I've heard of something like this before. It is it's like a cloak of gnawing leaves. They gnaw, you know?
Gnaw on what? What does that mean? If something comes at me, it'll bite it?
Well, kind of. It's a bit like that, but I will send you the specifics on the Cloak of Gnawing Leaves. Essentially, this cloak appears to be woven from 1,000 living leaves, hungry for flesh and eager to defend the cloak's wearer. When you are damaged by a melee attack from an adjacent creature, the leaves lash out at your attacker, rising up to reveal snapping jaws. In this case, it would be like Venus flytraps, made of wicked thorns. The triggering creature must make a DC 17 reflex saving throw. On a fail, it takes 1d4 piercing damage.
Jeez.
You get to use it once per day. On a critical fail, it takes 2d4 piercing damage and 1 bleed damage.
How big is the centaur? Pretty big, right?
Yeah, I
Bigger
mean,
than me.
it's a large creature. I mean, it's a horse with a person on it.
Okay.
You know,
I will.
that's what centaurs are.
I'll search the saddlebags now.
Yeah, I know what it is. Where's our feedback? All right, I'll get up, stand up, and I'll be like, huh. And I'll walk over to Arcelia and I'll wrap the cloak around her instead.
Oh, all right. As you stand up, I begin to kneel down. I would like to see if Captain Sala bears a certain mark on their neck.
Sure. You do not find the mark.
Interesting. I was beginning to form a theory, but it seems I may be wrong. She has no mark on her neck.
That does not surprise me. I don't know if this is entirely related to the missing moment or not.
It's probably not. Your friend Kaneepo is probably looking for anything suitable enough to either defend them or do his bidding.
They said heir. I think they are looking for someone to take over this realm.
Maybe not too, as he takes over ours. Because
As I'm saying
Bolin,
this, I'm picking and putting things in the bag of holding.
Bolin has already giving him what he needed. Well, I say, as I'm finishing tying the cloak around Arcelia, be careful with that. I say we take all of his teeth, just in case we need it. If we need to make an escape or something, at least we have currency. Or take a couple. Yara, don't feel too attached. This one was willing to kill everyone.
Indeed.
Though he may have kinda stepped in the right direction, he did not do any tasks to make me earn his trust whatsoever. You have to understand that this world is filled with consequences for every action we take, whether it's good or bad. I'm just gonna lean up against the wall and in this corner and slump down.
As they were all talking, I've been beginning to kind of wrap his body in a blanket that I had in my bag, just to cover him up and placing his arms across his chest.
I will go over and help you.
See the figure of Bolin, the symbol present on his neck, visible.
I can't help but feel there was a lost opportunity here.
Most assuredly. Anyway.
After finishing, I would like put my old staff into my bag of holding and have his, although I've already begun like wrapping twine and attaching rocks to the new staff. We should, and then start shoving these chairs toward the doors to the north. We need to barricade if we are to rest here.
All right.
You're right.
Oh, while you're doing that, there was something screaming out in my head about paintings, as Karun said earlier. I don't know why I heard it and you didn't, but be careful of the north door and the west.
Right. They were not to help me. We could get this table notched over and shoved away too.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea, you know, with the bug thing that was in the next room and all. But there were some books and paintings and stuff, so maybe they're like, you know, kind of learned.
We can check that after we rest.
I'll help with the table and chairs, whatever.
Okay. I would like a survival check from those that are helping. And it will count as like an aid, basically, with whoever is the main survival roller.
Wonderful.
Won't be me. Maybe it's me. I'll roll a 20 on it. Okay. You know, this table's like birch wood. You know.
You are able to essentially close the door, like wedge the chairs underneath the doors pretty well here at Dronus. You set up a pretty secure setup, at least from what you can tell.
This was going to be my aid roll. Yeah, I'm glad.
Please do not touch anything.
I'm like sliding in place on one of these. Like, I'm usually fairly strong, but not today.
Sometimes I wonder how old you really are. There's a kitchen. That might be nice to
Adronis, you spend like all this time like wedging the chair underneath like the doorknob, you know, the handle for the door, getting it like just right. Like there's no way somebody's gonna be able to get through unless they break the door, break the chair, move the table out of the way. Like it's a nightmare. And then Arastak is like slowly trying to push the chair out from underneath the handle.
No, stop.
Oh, sorry. I guess I'll go cook.
Yeah, remember you told me, you know, I should not pick up a ladle again. I think I should never touch a chair and put it under a door again. I got the security. I'm used to this.
All right. Yes, very good. Very, very good.
Now, if you need help with cooking, just let me know, all right?
I will definitely keep that in mind.
Is everybody like okay or whatever? You know, do you need like, do you want anything? You know, like to drink, like my potion that might like you know, like heal and stuff.
I think you should probably hold on to that if we're going to be setting up shop here. Yes.
Well, if there's anything left, you make things in the morning, I think, during your preparations, don't you,
Well,
Karun?
yeah, that's why I wanted to make sure it was
Yes.
you know.
Use it.
Arcelia looked like she, you know, got like speared a lot
yes.
and bleeding all over the place, and
Yes,
you
we will
know,
handle all of that. You can go ahead and give her the
maybe
potion.
had a detached limb or something. If you don't need
I'm trying
it,
to focus here, and I'm refocusing at the moment, trying to have all of this recede.
You would think a person with one eye would be more concerned about that. Right.
it does hurt a lot, but I think it might look like the scar might be pretty cool, you know.
Yeah. I would like to take some time to try to offer a measure of grace to the fallen and move them away from the place we will probably have dinner.
Should have put them outside the door.
Well, doors are currently barricaded, so they're gonna
I
go.
didn't think about it.
They're gonna go
Not even-
here.
Be a good form of security.
Okay, Arcelia, you are healed for 5 hit points.
Thank you.
You have a +1 bonus to saving throws against diseases and poisons for 10 minutes, so be careful about what you eat in that time.
I won't be cooking. It's okay.
Well, Arashtak is. Arashtak, as you head over to the small kitchen dining area there, let's see what you see. This area has a lot of bones around.
Of course.
They are mostly picked clean. There is a skull that is there. Looks human in nature.
The temptation to put it in my bag is very high. I hold off. Alright. I begin taking out my cooking implements to subsidize any that are not here. And light a fire and get to work.
Very well. Is anyone in need of any patching up still?
You've tried for me before. I think I need a rest before I can ascertain how injured I am.
Well, I should be able to check on you soon, actually, as long as we are not in combat. Yes.
Right. I'll get to cooking anyway.
All right.
Do you mind having another look at these bandages that you threw on me?
Certainly. Some of it looks like it's still bleeding, so we can stitch it up. And I'll go ahead and begin treating some wounds.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, I should have clicked this one. That is a 20 for 10 points of healing.
Very nice. It takes an hour to do.
Oh, you've got those on a little tight.
Oh, that is how we stem the bleeding, unfortunately.
Makes sense.
Very good. Are
Thank
you still working on food?
Oh, yes, I'm taking my time, which I am using assurance, which would be a 14 just across the board. I'm not trying to go big and crazy with the food today, just making it consistent.
Okay.
Assurance basically lets me get a 10 plus my proficiency on just survival checks.
Okay. And what is your proficiency?
4, I believe. Just the trained.
Okay. Definitely not the best you've made.
No, I'm not intending it. I want it to nourish.
Mm-hmm. This is like a really cheap stew, basically, that you make. Like, this has not enough ingredients. You know?
I can't scavenge here. There's no foraging available to me. That's the excuse I'm going to.
I don't know if
foraging
you really
I want to use.
either.
Yeah, no bones in this soup.
I have a question. I have eaten horse before. I mean, we have half of a horse right here.
No.
I would like some meat.
No.
Why not?
No.
In the desert, we eat everything.
Yes, I don't believe you eat sentient beings, do you?
It's not sentient anymore.
When you die, can I eat you, Adros?
Sure, I won't know you're doing it. The back part looks very thick and meat.
That was a joke for everybody. I would not eat him.
Oh.
If you're
Probably
hungry,
eat you.
Adronis, then I have rations.
I'm
What?
cooking right now.
So we're going to just leave the meat here.
Yes. You can take its teeth too.
That's going to start to smell, and so is bowling soon. Just saying, you know. And whatever that
Again?
little meatball thing. Ooh, the meatball thing. Nobody looked at that. Let me see what's going on with this thing.
It's very sharp. Careful.
Meatball thing.
How big is the oven here?
Normal oven size. Just a lot of, like, razor blades on this guy. I'm going to try. Oh, I don't know if I should even try to, get anything from it. I'm already kind of hurt. Speaking of which, Yara, can you look at this? I don't want my eye socket to get infected.
Surely. All right. I'm going to take a look at her eye socket. It is a 23.
Okay. Yeah, she's hurt. I mean, it doesn't look good. Could definitely use some treatment.
Yes. Let's go ahead. We're going to try and salvage what we can of the socket so it doesn't get infected. And I'll start.
That would be good.
I'll start taking salves and doing what I gotta do with that.
Just
and I
pour
will
him right
treat
in
wounds.
there,
Well, we have to be a little more delicate with it, otherwise it's going to get irritated and infected, yes. That is a 22 for 11 points of healing.
Oh, yeah, that's way better.
It feels better?
Oh,
Excellent.
yeah.
Right.
The pus is all gone and everything.
Yes, there's like 5 rags with it on it, so...
It's great.
It was disgusting, but it's looking a lot healthier now.
I feel wonderful.
You can
Thank you,
possibly
Yara.
maybe make yourself a, since we have that ruined leather, make yourself an eye patch of some sort. Keep the, I don't know.
Oh, yeah. I'll make it look real cool and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I begin to
Excellent.
ladle out food and put it on the table.
I think you're using the table as a means
Oh,
to
yes.
barricade, yes?
I ladle out food and put it on the floor where the table was.
Yeah, there's a few
I'll stop.
bowls and things that are there that you can do that pretty easily.
Take some blankets and start using them as kind of like sitting places on the floor.
I'm pretty sure we just pushed the table up to a door, right? I'm assuming up in this narrow hallway. Okay, great. So I'm going to take one of these loose chairs and put it on the end of the table and eat at the table like a normal human. No, I was kidding. Yeah, like a normal human. I'm going to
Oh, yes, like a normal human.
yes.
I bet you're all
Exactly.
stinky and everything.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'll eat.
As I'm eating, I will begin writing in my journal.
Very well. Okay. Let's see. Yara, you can probably get in one more treat wounds before resting.
All right. Well, I will point out that it is actually 10 minutes with a 1 hour cooldown.
Oh.
So it takes 10 minutes for me to do my work, yes.
10 minutes with a 1 hour cooldown on the person.
Yes, if you fail on somebody, it takes you an hour before you can try to heal them again. Battle
Okay.
medicine is the one that has a 1 a day.
Ah, yes. Okay. Let's see why you'd be able to. Let's see if there's any specific rules for this. Treat wounds, Pathfinder, 2E.
But you don't want us just healing to full and taking our time throughout this? You don't want us to have any advantages?
Well, I know that I don't know how to play this game completely yet.
Same.
And treat wounds is quite good out of combat in
Yes.
particular.
Yeah.
In
It
combat.
really
too, but-
is. I continue to take this time to add strings and things to this new staff.
I'll take the spear.
Ah, yes, I open up the bag of holding and begin to pull the spear out and hand it over to you.
Thank you.
Yes, of course.
I don't see why you wouldn't be able to use it. It just costs you time each time.
Yes. The hour cooldown, I suppose, makes it so that you really...
It's not just spammed on
Yeah.
everyone.
Yes.
Yeah.
You need to have the feats in order to do it quite regularly.
Yep. But out of combat, it's a good way to restore your health without resting.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, you can spend as long as you want doing this. I mean, the gist of this is that you would have to rotate, time for how you want to do this. So who's next?
Myself. I'm still a bit banged up.
Wise.
Oof.
That is a 15, so I match the DC for 7 points.
Makes sense.
Stretch this out. There we go. All right. Does anyone else need any treatment?
I would not mind if it's
Very good.
been enough time and I begin to look at my bandages.
You were treated in the previous room, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's good.
Yeah, between everyone else, I think.
25 with 9 points of healing.
I will take that. Thank you, Yara.
Of course. Now, out of curiosity, criticals, how did, in terms of healing and stuff like that?
It's 4d8 points, so roll the critical damage button and take that instead of the 9.
Because this is, 10 points higher, right?
Yeah.
Excellent.
So roll
okay.
critical damage. Let's see if it does like the crit heal or the actual damage. No, that's the heal. Wow.
Oh, so I'm, very hearty in hail.
That was an amazing roll. I think max is 32 there. Yeah.
I needed
How is
12.
it 32? What?
Because it's 48 is the max that you could get. 4d8.
I wish you had done this to someone else. I feel amazing.
Well, that is all right. We're
In the corner,
rotating,
like,
yes?
No, I'm just kidding. I'm good. I
I'd
see
give
him
it
wake
to
up.
you if I could.
Share the wealth.
It's to make up for my poor job at pulling teeth.
You know, I accept this as a thanks. Thank you. You see, maybe the teeth that were already growing, maybe just a little farther.
Yeah, this is, I think, how they compensate for you not getting, like, a quote-unquote full heal, like, on a rest and stuff.
Yeah, you get like 3.
Oh, you don't get full heal on rest?
Nope.
No.
Yeah, that's why
pain!
it's so important to have people who have treat wounds, and why we have 2 people who have it. Yeah.
Great. I'm gonna slug my way over here and lay on the table. Doctor me, please.
There's no table.
You lay on the
Okay,
floor
on the
in
ground,
front
on the
of me.
chair. I'm gonna lay on the
You
chair.
Do you wish for me to help you?
No, you talked about eating me earlier. I'm good.
You talked about eating them earlier.
It's dead.
You were almost
Well, you'll
dead.
be dead one day.
Ah,
It's true. I have no idea where I went. Oh, there I go.
I still said I don't
How
want
can
to
I move
eat
you? That's kind of crazy.
Why? Shoving me right there, and I'm not. I said I won't heal you or
Who
eat
can
you.
help me?
I said I would feed you.
I kind of want to watch this.
Now, it's as much as I. How do you even move me? I'm like twice your size.
I shoved you. All right.
That's rude. I move away from you.
Just wanted to check and make sure you were truly feeling better.
I am.
Considering you was using a chair like a walker earlier.
I begin stabbing him with a needle while I start stitching.
You're supposed to hurt. Help me, not hurt me.
That's an 18 for 10 points of healing. Sometimes healing is hurting. To start.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
Indeed.
I'll remember that.
Well, I mean, I suppose it makes sense, right? Future healing, because you damage an enemy, right? It makes it so that technically you're healing in your own damagey way, right? Because you're assaulting someone who might damage someone else.
Wait.
So technically you are a healer as well.
Oh. Yeah. Sure. I will take your word for that one. And I will go slump against the wall to rest.
I fall asleep in the middle of eating.
Even though I have no spells, Rostok is like moving around better than before coming here. Now that the wound is gone.
Skipping.
Yeah, just as a lizard can hum, I do so. And then I set out my bedroll and my preparation area and light some candles and nod off.
All right.
Oh, wait. We should be taking watch.
I secured the place pretty well. I think we all deserve a rest. As I
If you're
take my
confident, and then I lay down.
I take my, as long as you don't touch, take my armor off and get comfortable in my bedroll so it doesn't go against my rest.
They're not going to alternate watches.
God.
Gods. I'm going to go ahead and just finish patching myself up before I go to bed.
Sure.
That is 14 points of healing, so I'm back to full.
Just to be clear, who is wearing armor and who has taken their armor off?
I took mine off. I don't have much.
Mm-hmm.
I am wearing my arm and some soup.
I will do the first watch in my armor.
I wouldn't have fallen asleep immediately, so if I heard you saying something about watch, I would. You'd hear me mumble, "Oh, wake me when you're done, Jarl."
Thank you, someone who cares. All right.
Okay.
Cross my arms and look around.
Everybody besides Yara, please make a will save.
I hate that.
At 23.
23.
21 from Adronis, and I need to roll for Karun.
+2 because my abs are out.
A good circumstance bonus.
Are they oiled?
Always.
Probably sweaty at the very least.
Okay. Hmm? All right. Maybe about 2 hours into the watch, Yara, you hear Karun awake with a start. No! No! Ah!
Karun!
Ah!
Karun! Darling.
Are you real?
Yes, it was just a dream.
Let me feel
What
your
happened?
face.
God.
Your
Oh,
face
your
feels
hands are
pretty
sweaty.
real.
Yes,
Oh,
it's off too, right? I moisturize my skin with aloe and what have you.
you have
No, not funny.
you have both your eyes. Okay, that's good.
What happened?
Huh?
In your dream, what happened?
Oh, well, I was, I think I saw that thing that you talked about, you know?
What?
You, when you had you, in the cart, in the carriage, you know?
Yes.
When we were
Yes,
on
when
our way.
I told Dr. Brittleson. Yes.
Yeah, I think I saw something similar.
Describe it to me. And I have my notebook out and I'm writing down all the details.
I couldn't really see it. It was kind of like in the shadows, you know?
Yes.
Looked big and scary and had claws, you know, like when I take a potion. And I
Right.
get all like bestial. It was like that and big and I think I saw horns or something.
Horns. Okay.
And
it
everyone
say
was it was like watching, you know, like I had a dream about all of us, and no one had any eyes.
All of our eyes were gone.
Well, yeah.
Is there anything else you remember about this creature, this figure? Its face, anything?
I couldn't see it. I'm trying to remember, but it was like obscured, you know? Like the light wouldn't hit the face. Yeah.
Yes. Right. So that was all. You saw this figure, and it was watching us, and we didn't have eyes.
Well, yeah, and then there was like, you know, the Ayudara and stuff. And, I could see in through the Ayudara. And it was like a, it was like a different place, you know, like when we came here and I could see through, we could see this place, you know?
Right.
It was like a different place.
All right.
But I don't know how I could see anything because none of us had any eyes. Maybe I had eyes, but you all had your eyes gone. I don't know. I didn't look in the water or anything, or a mirror.
Right. Okay. And I mean, that part, I suppose, is not as important as what you saw through that Ayudara. Describe the scenario, the surroundings to me. Was it colorful? Was it lush? Was it a dark, dreary forest?
No. I think it was kind of like, snow.
Snow.
Yeah.
Right. So a cold climate.
I think
Did
so.
All right. And did you notice anything in the snow? Any landmarks?
No. When I started to look through, that's when I noticed the creature thing, you know, like watching.
Right.
And then I yelled out, I said, "Hey, you! You know, I see you looking at us, and do you want to come over and, like, have a party or whatever? I have some drugs." But nothing else happened.
And then you awoke.
Well, yeah, before everyone's eyes started bleeding, you know.
Very well. All right. Well, on the bright side, this means that there is some sort of a connection between you and I with these marks, with our experience. If we are having a similar dream, then surely it is related.
Maybe. I mean, we have the marks, you know. We all
Right.
went through the gate.
And how are you
I hate
feeling
even
after
calling them that, you know. Should be Ayudara.
that? Right.
What am I, like some kind of stinky human?
And how are you feeling after that dream? Are you all right?
Oh yeah, except, you know, for like, being tired and kind of exhausted, you know.
Right. Well, I still have time on my watch, and then I will be waking up. Arashtak. Right?
Oh yeah, the
he will take a
lizard.
watch.
Yeah, he's good at the watch. Yeah.
Yes. So you get more rest. All right? You are safe. I'm watching over you.
Okay. Thanks, Yara.
Of course. We'll talk more about it tomorrow. I'll go ahead and I will tightly wrap her in with her little blanket. Tuck her in. Good night.
Good night.
Back to my post.
Very please make a perception check.
13.
All right.
All right. Perhaps it's about time to wake up our witch friend. And I'll go ahead and I will go over to Arashtak. Arashtak, darling.
Yes. Is it time already?
Yes, indeed.
I see. Very well.
And if you are still feeling tired, make sure you alternate with someone else, all right?
I'll do some of my preparations. It is fine.
All right.
Rash talk. Make a
Yes.
perception check for me.
Will do. 21.
Okay. As you're waking up in the tree bark that has been sort of carved out here, you thought you saw a face for a moment. It looked sort of gaunt, a bit like almond eyes and a very sort of skeletal appearance. There were very prominent teeth in the face. You thought you saw a smile.
Did you see that, Yora?
No, I can't
We
say that
are
I did.
being watched. There was a face in the wood. Gaunt. Long teeth. I swore there was a smile. Whack. Does that remind me of Kaneepo?
I'm trying to remember if you actually got a good view of Kaneepo or not.
He did appear in front of us, though it was distorted.
I'm going to say, since you thought of them, it's very possible, but you're not sure what they really look like.
Got it.
You have a general appearance.
It may have been the one we are moving toward.
Really?
Yes, it's a hunch. They may be pleased with us or humored by us. I think for the moment we're safe, but now that I know it's there, I'll keep an eye out. Get your rest.
Very well. The moment anything seems to go awry, yell for us, all right?
I will. I'll have, Arcelia. The moment I feel panicked, go nibble upon without hurting Arcelia. Gaseous slithers down and kind of curls up next to Arcelia.
I'll go ahead and I will begin to strip off parts of my armor in order to go ahead and get some comfortable rest.
Okay.
I begin to do my daily preparations for magic, though doing them much slower than normal so I can keep watch. Normally it'd take an hour, but I'll take the whole time.
You have not gotten a full rest yet.
True, I suppose. I'll get ready for it once this is watch is done.
Okay.
And I watch and wait and keep an eye out for that smiling face.
Okay. Make a perception check for me.
A 22.
Okay. You don't notice anything, Arashtak. Throughout your watch, it seems to go fairly unbothered.
Good. Once it's around the time of full rest, I'll wake everyone but Yara, letting Yara get a bit more. It should be about time, everyone.
You need 3 watches.
Oh, I thought it was 2.
Nope.
He'll hate it, but I go over to Adronis and give a light nudge with my staff.
Since you are kind of like in a dungeon right now, this isn't the normal...
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
The normal camping situation.
For sure. I nudged Adronis.
Well, what?
It's fine. It's alright.
You said me boring already.
Yeah.
I haven't had
isn't a
anything.
concept here.
I had a really strange dream. We were inside the tree.
Oh,
And all of that stuff.
still.
Karu lost her eye.
Yes,
And
very true.
I'm still in a nightmare. That's great.
Yes.
Alright, what is it?
We
You
need
me to
more.
cook. Alright.
No. We need you to do what you're very good at. Watch.
Oh. Alright. I'll get up and slowly put on my armor.
Warning you now, the patron of this place, I believe, is watching us.
Watching us.
Yes.
We're here? You did wake up?
No, it was not actively hostile.
Oh.
Looking through, and I point to the wall of the bark, a face appeared, teeth, eyes, a grin.
I was near it. Okay. Alright.
No,
Alright.
but
Well,
nothing happened.
Sure, I'll keep watch.
I need to rest more, and then I can have some spells for the first time in what seems like ages.
Right. Okay. I'll totally not fall asleep. I will be...
That would be wise.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. Essia. And Essia curls back up and wraps around me, and I doze off for the final watch.
Okay. Jonas, please make a perception check.
11.
Okay.
Any circumstance bonus from me pointing out the thing to look for?
You don't know.
All right, very good.
Jonas. You almost nod off a few times. But you seem to go unbothered. Your watch passes.
And then I'll fall asleep.
Okay. Everybody starts to naturally wake up.
Yes, everything's fine. Nothing happened. Easiest watch I ever had.
Good.
Yes.
Good.
Don't really know how tired you really are until you're placed in a place of danger and
Sure.
very conscious.
All right. That seems reasonable.
Did anyone have any weird dreams?
No.
No.
Nothing, like not even, like sexy ones or anything.
No.
No dreams
No.
of the brood.
I did dream
brood.
about the dancers.
Okay,
Oh, the
but
ones-
nobody was like dressing up and wearing like, a fur suit or like claws or anything.
I
No.
already have claws. It would be
Definitely
hard
not.
to dream without them.
Don't think so.
Okay, so just me then.
Yes.
Yep.
I would assume so.
You had a bad dream?
Well, I kind of saw something that was like what Yara saw.
Indeed. You know of this creature that I mentioned that I had been having dreams of?
Mm-hmm.
Very similar, except Haroon saw something unique. The Ayudara.
Oh.
I'm looking at Karoon.
Yeah, I mean, I could like see through a little. You know how like we saw when we went through the portal that got us here? You know?
Mhm.
I could kind of
Yes.
see through it. It was like snow.
Snow.
Yeah.
And we all had no eyes.
Right, that was the creepy part. No eyes, and they were, like bleeding from the sockets.
That's terrifying.
Which makes me wonder, now that I think on it. Surely that is not some sort of strange premonition that we will need eyes in order to get past the next trials.
Well, I hope not. I've only got one now. Oh, maybe we can take the eyes from that guy, from Bolin, and from the Captain Sala, but probably won't keep for very long,
No, but that unfortunately isn't a terrible idea.
It already smells really bad. Smells horrific in here.
I've lit some candles while I'm doing my spell preparations.
Some poopery.
They attract mosquitoes, they do not defy them. So there's a cloud kind of buzzing around me.
Ooh, that's a lot of, maggots and stuff.
Do you think it's a good idea then?
No.
Very
Well,
good.
at least not for, using them later. But I can probably use them in a potion.
I think we should leave them be.
Are you sure? No, I think maybe I'll take, like a little bit of, some rotting flesh. Just in case.
Don't do it off of Bolin at least.
Why?
Oh. What if we end up needing to bring the body back or something like that? The druids would most likely not be quite pleased seeing he's been maimed and
Why? I
had
mean, we
parts
can just
taken from him.
say that it was like, the creatures that we fought.
Yeah, and I don't think they're going to be worried about, as long as the ritual did not take place. I believe they got the message, if they're still around.
Yes.
For now,
We did
anyway.
want him alive.
They said that if we could,
I know. Just saying.
and I didn't kill him when I had the chance.
Right. So then, what is our plan of action? We have a couple of doors in front of us.
Well, I saw paintings in the room on the left, and then straight ahead I saw a room with books, and that's where that insect person was, and I think I heard them in my head, you know.
Do we try our odds with this insect person?
I think
We were
it's
worried
better.
about these paintings.
It might be better to try to meet them straight on.
Indeed.
If they said, "Oh no, my paintings," then perhaps going to the paintings first is a bad idea. Shows we're not as threatening. Perhaps they are one of the Fae that can be dealt with.
Okay. I'm going to start moving the table and
Sure.
I will help you.
oh, thank you. And start moving that stuff and say, hey, okay. Guess we'll just leave the bodies here.
Nowhere else to put them.
Can't exactly carry them, so I guess.
That's correct. I'm going to place the table back exactly the way we found it.
All right.
Just had a gut feeling. It'll take me a while, but I'll situate everything like we found it. Okay. All right. Door number 1 to door number 2. Straight ahead, right?
Straight ahead was the door with the person, I believe. As
Okay,
I'm strapping
great.
my armor back on.
Who was the one that wanted to talk their way through this?
Arcelia.
I can do that. I'll move right up to the door and wait for everyone.
I'll lean against the wall.
Hang on 1 second. I see something that I goofed up. Okay.
Hey, do we get any HP for resting? Full
Yes,
rest?
you do. You get your con modifier multiplied by 2.
Oh.
Yeah, that's why treat wounds
Stink.
is so important. Yeah.
I mean, that's me at full health.
Yeah. Con modifier multiplied by twice your level.
Oops.
So 4 times your con modifier. Okay. What are you doing?
Right, once everyone's in place, I will knock on the door.
What?
It seems like the polite thing to do.
Yeah, but I don't think this place is polite, Arcelia. Maybe we can, instead of like alerting them, we can get the upper hand, whether they're polite or not. You know?
It's already too late, I knocked.
Knock, knock, knock.
I opened the door.
Should be able to click on it and open it.
Boop. Hello. I carefully step inside.
You look inside, and once you enter, you can see ladders and a 2-story library with these ladders connecting to 3 separate balconies. There are books, scrolls, and scattered pages crammed every which way into shelves and stacks carved from the tree's own wood. A firefly chandelier hangs from the domed center of the ceiling, 30 feet above. 4 doors, including the one that you just passed through, are all around the room.
This is more like it. I would suggest a measure of caution for touching anything. I would like to move towards the closest bookcase and try to lean in and see if I can read the titles.
Okay. Please make Arcana or Occultism roll. This is in regards to recalling knowledge.
All right. The Arcana. I'll use my hero point here.
Okay.
15.
Okay. You can you take a look at some of these books, and you actually find some tomes on magical diseases, elven medical texts, codices on evil rituals and curses, and more. This whole collection is likely worth a great deal, but some of these are in very poor condition. You are able to identify 3 texts that are valuable, most likely worth 7 gold pieces each. There is an ancient Osirian scroll on magical blights, a rare unburned copy of Curses Foul and Fell, bound in eel hide, and a beautifully illuminated copy of the Physicker's Guide to Elves.
Oh, this is troubling. Yara, look at these. They seem to be some sort of medical and curse-related texts.
Curses.
Yes.
It doesn't seem like a coincidence that these might be related to the curse on 7 Arches. Or the one that used to be.
Could be invaluable.
Perhaps. Looking around, do we see any sign of perhaps anyone hiding the shadows and what have you? It is odd that all of this is here. Yes, it's odd that all of this is here without any sort of resistance. 20.
You do not see anyone hiding in the shadows.
Might I take a look at that Curses scroll?
Are you sure you want to touch it?
Curses and hexes actually are in my purview.
I gesture to where it is on the shelf. I am not so brave. I think I want to start climbing one of these ladders.
Well, no time like the present, and I take the scroll. And wait and see if I explode.
Okay. Please make an Arcana or Occultism check, Arashtak.
Will do.
Boom! No, I'm kidding.
And he's gone.
It's happened before.
Scared me.
Is that to identify it, or is it something else? Because I'm debating on if I want to use a hero point.
Yeah, it's, I will not answer.
Fair. It was more if she said it was for curses. That's why I wanted to grab that, but I will use a hero point here.
We pack these away and look at them not while we are traversing through unknown territory.
There's a lot here, but those are the 3 that Arcelia picked out. And we can assume, Arcelia, that you like climbing up to the balcony is part of that.
Fair. And I grab it. I don't open it then.
You're not using a hero point, right?
Correct, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm just taking it.
I would like to grab the other 2 pieces of literature.
Okay.
Put it in my bag of holding. Do you wish for it to be in here?
Yes, we can do that. I will
Just
place
in
them
case
inside.
something. And then put them in.
There was the scroll on magical blights.
Yes.
The Curses Foul and Fell, and you have that book. Right, Arashtak?
Yes.
Okay. Yara, you're holding on to the Syrian scroll on magical blights and Physiker's Guide to Elves.
Wonderful.
You're holding on to those, or are you having me put them in the bag?
No, we'll place them inside of the bag for now. I will ask for them later, more than likely. Alright, so this place is huge. And there's no sign of that creature. Let's say we look around further.
Yes.
Yeah, but you know which way. If it makes any difference, I saw that, that insect person go, left.
To the paintings room, presumably.
Can I?
Well,
Shh.
I opened the door over here and there were paintings, back there. And they went left in this room.
What were you saying, Adronis?
Oh, I was wanting to check for traps since everyone is just, lively moving around this area. If this was important to someone and they ran off for paintings, who knows what traps are lie ahead.
That might have been a good thing to do, first before we
Yes.
started, looking around.
That is exactly what I wanted to do, but I didn't want to interrupt. So if someone would have died, I would have been like, look, a trap.
I think maybe, it's better to interrupt so we don't get blown up or acid falls on us or fire shoots into our mouths or...
Come here if you're looking around. And
Is
I'll
there
go into-
anything up on the balconies?
More books and stuff.
I'm going to check the doors.
I am going to go ahead and give him guidance.
Okay.
Because that was what I was trying to do.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I moved as close as I could. I didn't want to step on people. Yeah, I'm going to check both doors. To see if there's any traps or anything.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a perception check. Or a thievery. Thievery.
I'm going to do perception. No, I'll do thievery. Yeah, it's good. No.
Looks fine. Looks like a door.
Okay. The lighting is here to dim. I don't think there's anything wrong with this.
Oh, good.
We're going left, right?
Or
Why
are
would
we
we go
going
left?
right, left?
Karun mentioned they went left.
Yeah, we don't want to go talk to them. What do you mean?
Are we
Or-
going
or-
left and then right, or then or right and then left?
Hold on. I look at all the doors. Are there any sort of signs of this door goes to this, or what kind of a room it is, yada yada?
Nope.
Just blink. All right. All right. You are confident.
So which way are we going?
I think.
I'm curious to speak to this individual since they did not outright come down and chase us down. They had the opportunity.
This is true. But what
And
would
if-
they want?
Well, clearly they wanted to protect something. Worst case scenario, we might be able to use that to our advantage if we need to.
Sure, if you want to, I will tell you. It spoke to my mind. And I wasn't even near the room. So, you already know that we're here. And, if we go in that room, that's probably when it may be hostile. But you're the perfect person to go do it. You have a fancy new cloak. You have a nice spear now. I will follow your lead.
All right. I move past Karun and I knock on this door.
You knock on the door. There is no response.
I open it. Hello.
Inside, you see 10 framed paintings lining the western side of this long corridor. Each painting glows softly as the depicted figures silently move again and again through short, repeating scenes.
Are all of you seeing this?
Yes. Well,
I don't like that.
Perhaps. I have a dreadful feeling. I'm looking at the paintings without going in. What are the scenes depicting?
Each painting seems to depict this gaunt figure. You saw their face in the bark of the tree watching you, Arashtak. This gray-skinned, thin creature awakening in a dark, mossy bower on the first world. The second shows them kneeling before a massive cloaked fae of chaotic darkness. This would be lore first world. I don't know if anything else would apply.
Probably not occultism or nature arcana?
No.
Then no, wouldn't have anything.
You do not recognize this person.
The fae that they're kneeling to.
The paintings, from what you can tell, and it's hard to see them all from this angle, but they seem to be showing this figure in various scenes. You can really only see like the first couple paintings well from this position.
That is the face I saw in the bark. That slim creature. I think it may be unwise to go in that room.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. I will slowly close the door.
Now, the question is that room connected to whatever is the western side of this room?
It looked like it.
Looked like it.
If you heard correctly, Adronis, they yelled my paintings and went through that door, and this room over here was paintings.
Clear as day.
I saw them, go like that way.
Then, fair assumption.
I just will try. I knock on the door.
You knock on the door. There is a moment. And then you hear, "Go away. Leave my paintings alone."
Hello. I don't want your paintings.
What do you want?
We are not from this place. We want to leave. Why do you laugh?
Many people wish to leave this place.
May I open the door?
No!
I turn to the others. I don't know if you can hear them, but they're speaking to me.
Could we?
No.
Oh, they don't want us to go in there. Apparently, we are likely not the first people to be lost in this realm.
I think we listen to them.
Indeed. I believe that is a good idea. Perhaps we endeavor to go elsewhere.
Well, Lord, you can ask. Since you're being polite, and we're politely not going to open the door, ask them, what do we have to look forward to in these?
I knock on the door again. Hello?
What
are
do
in
you
the adjacent
want?
rooms? I want to know what's in these rooms adjacent to this room.
Open the doors and you'll find out.
They don't seem to be very helpful.
Unsurprising, I suppose.
But could we trade them for information?
Unless you have some paintings hanging around in your bag, I don't think they care.
I've got paper, chalk.
You're seriously going to do this? They don't want to be bothered, and we're going to continue to, I don't know, harass them?
Maybe we can come back later.
We're going to have to figure out what door to go to. My sister taught me something. Who has the most balanced blood, I always like to say. You don't get too hot, you don't get too cold. I don't think it would be Orashtak.
No.
I don't think Yara's probably, I don't know, always cold. I don't know how it works if you're...
You literally did a flip onto a table. I think you've got balance under control.
Yes, but I need one more person.
I run a little warm.
Well, I'm an elf, you know, so like I probably can.
Okay, great. What I need you to do is put your hand upon the door. Do not push open. And check to see if there's any heat or coldness coming from this door. I'll do the same.
Feels like the same temperature.
I assume mine as well.
Good question. Let's see. I need to check on one thing. Yours feels a little colder. You're honest?
Are the doors a perfect seal?
Ooh, probably not. That would require a perception check.
Do you think Essia could fit under the door jamb?
Possibly, but I cannot see through Essia's eyes.
Can't
I
you
would
turn
just-
into a bug?
Yes. However...
That's
I
a
could.
really good thing to point out, Arcelia. Arashtak when you transform into those other creatures and things, do you secrete?
Secret what?
Yes, that is the question.
I do not think so, but I am indeed that creature I turn into.
I'm just thinking about, the future, if you can secrete things for me.
I do not know if I wish to be used that way, and I think that is not a good conversation for this moment.
Okay. We'll talk about it later.
Could we not just attempt to look under the door? Or if there are any sort of...
I
little
could
holes in it?
indeed. I could become something for the day. Yes. It would be the only time I could do it for this day, but I could become something small to look if there is indeed a crack under the door. I could check them both.
If you're comfortable with it, I think more information could be helpful.
Yes, I could do so. Does someone want to check to see how... If you can tell me the size of it, I can become something appropriate.
Let's see. We'll have Karun and Dronus make perception checks. And based on those, that's how easy it would be to fit through the door.
I'll speak up and point out that this door that I'm in front of is definitely a lot colder than anything that we've touched in here.
That helps.
And an 8.
Oh, not much better. No, you probably can't fit through easy. It would have to be something really small. A bug, maybe.
I can become that.
Do you want me to hold Essia in case you need help?
Oh, yes, that would be... She wouldn't exactly be able to be on me as an insect anyway. I hold my arm out and Essia slithers upon you. I'd love to do a nature check to recall what insects might be less susceptible to cold.
Sure.
An 18.
Okay. This is
Or
knowledge.
just not all insects will collapse if it's cold out.
Yeah.
Cockroach. They survive anything.
That is what I was thinking originally, yes.
Yeah, pretty much. A lot of bugs generally do not do well in the cold.
Yes, that's why I was thinking that. But a roach would probably be fine.
Probably.
With the 18, that probably is fairly assured, in my mind at least.
Sure.
Oh.
I would like definitive answers.
A beetle.
That's what I was rolling for.
A beetle can survive. A roach actually cannot survive extreme cold.
But a beetle can?
Mm-hmm. A mountain pine beetle.
Fair enough.
Some other things too. Tiger moth.
If it seems as though, like, I'd have a better inkling, that's why I was going that direction. So, I'll leave that to GM judgment. All right.
Beetles seem the most cold resistant, sure.
Great. And I've been a beetle before, so... All right, well... I'll check. And become a pest for 10 minutes. And... turn into a small beetle.
Okay.
And quickly
Alrighty.
look under the door jamb without really going through it, but kind of just the...
Okay. Let's
And I'll
see.
check the door that Adurnus is at first, since I'm there.
Okay.
Just...
Rosh talk. Make a perception check.
18.
Okay. Looking inside this area, you see a stained wooden table with a gutter around the edge and a variety of leather restraints. This large theater has a rack of immaculate surgical tools standing along the wall nearby. A counter on the eastern side holds papers and pens, and the floor has been carved into elaborate geometric designs. There is an alcove to the northeast, which holds a bed. It is dark in here. The room has more doors, from what you can tell. There's 2 doors that you can see, and you think you see the inklings of a staircase to the southeast.
If it helps, I do have low light vision and imprecise scent 30 feet.
I need to make a check. That's all you get.
All right. I can't leave easily this way. I think you have to move me. I'll quickly skitter to the other door and do the same. This little beetle, a green beetle, with like what looks like a lizard tail kind of sticking out. And I look through the top door.
Okay.
Another perception.
Mm-hmm.
That is a 9. And I'll stick with it.
Okay. This chamber looks like a noble's bedroom. There are yards of pastel fabric which hang on an elegant but dusty 4-poster bed and a nearby vanity. A large painting on the wall depicts 2 slender black and white creatures with skull-like faces and huge teeth. In a grotesque parody of a family portrait, figures hold hands and grin terribly toward the viewer. At the north end of the room, scattered candles, crystals, and other occult accoutrements suggest a spell or magical project in process. There are 2 finished doors, including the one that you crawled under. The other one leads south.
Presumably looks like it would connect to the one I saw in that theater room.
Yeah, you can see a crack between the door there. Potentially,
I see. All right. I crawl back.
While
into the
he's doing his
previous room.
searches, I would have been taking a look, since it would take some time, at the bookshelf near me to see if there's anything that stands out.
There's a lot of stuff here. Nothing jumps out at you.
All right.
You think that Arcelia, and we can say, and you have already sort of picked the place, for the most valuable stuff.
Very good.
All right. And then I kind of transform back into myself. I walk over to Arcelia and retrieve Essia. She curls back around my wrist. All right. We have 2 rooms, one of which looks like an actual bedroom. I have a feeling it is our painting friend, and their room looks as though they were in the middle of some sort of spell or occultist project. A door from that room leads into, and I motion to the cold room, what looks like a surgical theater. Hence the cold, many surgical implements and some sort of operating table with a gutter for blood, I can only presume. Many tools line the walls, and a door leads out from it as well. The door to the north is seemingly its own separate room with nowhere else to go. But I also saw no one in either room, if I was correct in remembering that, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you have to make a decision. Was there anything else in the this cold room? Like an exit or anything, or is it both a dead
There
end?
was an exit, yes, to the south.
All right. I'm going to flip a coin. Ooh. Don't know if you want to know what Desna thinks.
I don't know if I do. The room to our north was unoccupied, I believe, as well, though since it was contained and left itself to the surgical room, I have a feeling our uncooperative friend, it is their private quarters. That could be better or worse.
Yeah, Desna leads me to the cold room.
My intuition points that way too.
It is
There
the
is
most
another
suspicious.
exit. Yes.
Yes, agreed, Yara.
Okay. Well,
Well, be prepared. Those implements are most definitely used regularly. The floor was stained. Oh, the room above also had a family-like portrait of beings that reminded me of the Slim again. 2 of them grinning and staring out at the viewer.
Beautiful.
A portrait.
Yes.
Interesting. Perhaps more than one of them, then.
Dangerous, either way. There may have been more than one, or may be, in the past, a couple.
All right. So we are looking to endeavor towards this room then?
that's correct.
Who will be opening the door?
Not I.
Marching order.
I hover my knuckles over the door.
I will place a hand on Arcelia's shoulder, and you'll see it glow bright blue as I cast a guidance.
Arcelia, might I suggest you have your weapon at the ready, even if you are knocking?
Oh, yes. I will pull out my shield and I will hold the spear.
Before you go knocking, if there is something or someone in there, I'll suggest this once again. Of course, you don't have to follow what a guy like me says, but I would just kind of barge in, honestly, and take them by surprise if someone's there. Knock gives them time to prepare, and when you open the door, something might come flying at you. Just a suggestion. I lived a life of circumstances. Let's just put it that way.
I pull my hand back. After you, then.
Well, no time like the present. Okay, Desna, here we go. Now I'll open the door.
Okay, you should be able to open it.
And I will slide myself in.
inside.
He'll be right behind you.
And then we'll follow close behind them.
And I'll be right behind Yara.
I'm going to be looking around for anything strange, traps, or anything to be triggered.
Sure. Make a perception check.
Or thievery? Huh?
If you find traps, then yes. But you are
Okay,
looking
gotcha.
more broadly right now, I think.
25.
Okay. Dronus. You see, as you are almost about to step into something, that there is, in fact, behind the operating table, there is something that looks like it's hidden. It is covered, and you just barely notice the edge of some kind of fabric or something like canvas covering this. Looks like it is right here.
I'll hold my hand back and just telling them to wait.
And then,
And then pull.
you notice something a lot scarier. In the corner by the bed. First, you just thought there was a shadow there. But then you start to see a humanoid-looking shape. And you make out a mask. Hiding in the shadows.
I immediately let my instincts take over. To the ready! There! Don't stop there! And so
Everybody
this
roll
claw-
initiative.
Okay. Can I ask about the claw?
Make sure you select your token first. Okay. Just for your own benefit, this is the figure you see.
Oh.
Oh, hello. Oh. What?
Immediately wants to fight.
She's kind of hot though.
Oh no, she's hot.
Roll to sleep with her.
Mommy? Sorry. Mommy?
Oh no, I got Stella going. I'm sorry, everyone.
Activated. Nyong nyong.
Roll for thirst.
I choose to fail.
Okay, I need to roll for Karun. Oh, that is the wrong thing. This. Okay. Okay. There is no ambush, which is very good. Yara, you managed to eke out a Dronus as I push the button, so you get to go first.
All right. I am going to go ahead first, and I am taking a step away.
But you want to go towards it.
No. I will be going ahead, and I will move down towards Adronis.
I'll
Hello,
point
darling.
I'll point at the area. Just really watch your step.
Perfect. All right. With that being said, let us see. How far away is this thing? 35. I would actually... Yes, no. I'm going to stay there, and I'm going to go ahead and just summon up some energy in my hand and cast it forward towards Arcelia, where I will go ahead and cast Forbidding Ward.
Okay.
And that is my turn.
Okay. So, if anyone has proficiency with planar lore of any kind, or
Esoteric.
yeah, you can definitely make that.
Vision,
21.
occultism, nature, arcana.
Arcelia, no, I'm sorry, Arashtak.
No worries.
I will leave it up to you how you know of this. But this creature is a Shea. They are wispy, tenebrous creatures native to the plane of shadow. Their amorphous bodies appear in a constant state of flux. They cast no shadows of their own, instead gaining and losing umbral energy to nearby shadows that shrink and grow alongside them.
It is a Shea. They are creatures of shadow.
Yara, you have cast your Forbidding Ward. Anything else on your turn? Is that it?
No, I have used a turn to move, and I used 2 actions to go ahead and use my Forbidding Ward. That is all.
Okay. Adronis.
So this square thing right here, is this a trap or is this something hiding under it?
Well, it's something. It looks like you can see something underneath there, and it is most likely a trap.
Okay, for one action, I'm going to...
It's like laying flat on the ground, you know? And you didn't notice it at first, but when you walked closer, you did. You noticed that there weren't those, like, carvings in this part of the floor. You know, like there's fabric there. It's just the same color as the floor.
can I see a way to disarm it, or is it attached to something in the distance?
You don't see anything attached there. It looks like some kind of pitfall.
Ah, okay. I will just point that out to everyone. Don't step there. And I'm going to look towards this Shea, and I'm going to say, I'm going to do intimidating glare. I'm just going to glare at it because I see that it does it have anything in its hands. Does it look like this picture?
It looks
bloody.
Yeah, I mean.
Oh yeah. I'm going to I'm going to give it an intimidating glare. And I'll do a intimidation check. 24.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it probably doesn't understand common. Oh, let me post the intimidation glare. So
Perceptive, aren't you?
Why does everyone go to my head?
This was not in your head. Everybody heard this.
Oh, okay. Ha. Yes, and you should leave us be. And that would be my intimidation. And they gain fear.
They have to.
Oh,
roll.
or no, you have to do a check. Never mind. Yeah, you might roll a 50. I don't know.
Just straight to 50.
Just saying. It's credit.
I mean, wax rolls.
He rolls a 50. He's like, that wasn't even a crit.
Very good. That was a bad roll from Wacksteven.
That crit?
That you did crit.
Ooh, that's 2.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Okay.
All right, and I gain panache. Where's my +2? There it is. For the second action, there's something I can do, and I can't remember on top of my head. I'm going to look around for. You said there's things hanging, right? Like weapons and stuff, knives.
There's surgical tools behind you.
Okay, I'm going to. Do I see any that are throwable?
Oh yeah, I would definitely count these as like improvised weapons.
Great. I want to grab as many throwable weapons I can hold.
Okay.
Well,
Roll
actually, I'll do
me-
one at a time because I have a rapier in one hand. My buckler is like attached to my arm, so that's still a free hand. Do I
Okay.
need to do a check?
Yes. Roll me a d6.
Okay. Oh, lovely one.
Yeah, you grab something sharp. Grab one right off the wall. It counts as an improvised weapon.
Okay. Do I get the feeling? I'm just trying to read it by looks. Does it look like it's going to attack us?
It definitely looks hostile. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to throw. I'm going to throw this weapon. I don't have the throw. Would that just be a regular attack?
It'd be a dexterity.
Okay.
Dexterity check, I think.
And then it's -2.
Yeah.
So right, but it also would get your proficiency bonus, but the proficiency dex -2?
Yes.
You would only
it just
get
dex?
proficiency if you're trained in right?
So it's a simple weapon. It counts as a simple weapon. So
Okay.
You would be trained.
Yeah.
Okay, so I make a dex check.
Yeah.
16.
And then your proficiency.
What was that at? Look at too many papers. Where's my proficiency?
We'll just open up your rapier.
Oops.
Trained is 4,
Okay.
right?
So that is yes. You are trained. So that is 4. So that is an 18 to hit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That is a miss.
Even with the 2?
From fear.
Yeah,
Mm,
it knocks it down by 2.
That would be a 20 then, effectively.
still a miss.
Wow. Okay. Careful with that one. And I am going to just remain in front of Yara for now.
Okay. Let Lako have a look at you. As this shadowy Shea creature begins to move, you see that it is very ethereal in its movements, but it moves very, very quickly in short bursts and will throw a weapon right back at you. They will move, actually, no, they can move right there. Let's see, they go after Karun or Arcelia. That will be Arcelia.
All right. I've got my shield.
Good thing
And
I
you
don't
do have a
to
+1.
kill Karun while she's not here. Actually, not going to throw the weapon since they were able to get to you, Arcelia. Let's see. Okay. They will attack you with dagger. Why did this not work right? Ah, there it is. Okay. An 18 to hit, I think, is a miss.
It's a miss.
Mm-hmm.
I raise the shield to deflect the dagger strike.
Second attack. 22 to hit.
22 is on the money. It hits.
You're hit for 9 piercing, and then this cold begins to spread out from the attack, and you take an additional 4 damage of cold.
It's freezing.
And then that is it for the this Lako's turn. Arashtak.
Yes. Well, I will use one of my unpleasant for many, but it's fine for me. I use buzzing bites. I need to make a fortitude save of 17 as I spew out many insects that bite and gnaw and sting.
Okay. This is a fortitude save. Okay.
Correct.
It's a 27. That is a...
Nothing happens.
It does, actually. Critical success, unaffected completely.
Excellent. I mean, nothing happens. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
They have
that and just
the frightened. Does frightened work for the saves?
You take a status penalty equal to this value to all your checks and DCs.
Checks are not saves.
Oh, okay.
then
Never mind then.
Those
and
are
nothing happens.
Yeah, those are skills.
Question.
Okay. Is that it for your turn, Arashtak?
Oh.
2 actions.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking here. I was hoping that would have worked. Well, because I can, I will attempt to assist someone, namely Arcelia, with her next attack as best I can. And hope, which I believe I just make an attack roll, yes? To assist with an attack?
Yes. Yep.
Alright. Then, I would kind of, I'm not in melee range, but with the flavor of that, I suppose, how we want to do it, yes.
I apologize. Arcelia, what is your AC?
It's 22.
Your AC is 22. So
with
that was,
the bonus.
Yeah, so that was actually a miss on you. You did not take that damage because Lako has a -2 to the attack.
Delicious. Thank you.
That's wonderful.
Sorry. I thought that was being factored. Should have clarified. Okay.
Very nice.
Okay.
So for assisting with this
attack roll.
Attack roll.
And you're
Very
assisting
good.
Arcelia.
Yes.
Okay.
Alright. Just a regular attack one then?
Yeah.
Or ranged or okay.
Well, it'd be ranged because you're at range.
Yes. Yeah, that does not help at all.
Okay. Karoon. This is fun. I get to play an alchemist. So great. I think Karoon would most likely say, "Hey, it's pretty cool in here, and so are you, but I really don't want to be operated on, not in this particular moment. So if you could just back up a little, that would be nice." And, Karoon will probably, suggest that they maybe, go away. And, if I could just speak to, Kaneepo the Slim, that would be great. I'm guessing you're not, high up on the food chain. So if you could stop, like, wasting our time or whatever, you know, that would be good. And that will be it for Corinne's turn.
Okay.
Pretty much dead
Can
on
I
the
speak
money.
to your manager?
Arcelia, it's your turn.
Okay, I have a question. If I do a 5-foot step, do I essentially have to do a 5-foot step away?
It doesn't matter. It takes one action, though.
Okay. So if I were to, like, move here with my move, would that count an attack of opportunity?
That's a
you're
great question.
Staying within threatened, I don't know.
Yeah, so let me see. This I am not sure of. Okay, movement in encounters. Actions with the move trait can trigger reactions or free actions throughout the course of the distance traveled. Each time you exit a square within a creature's reach, your movement triggers those reactions and free actions. So yes,
Okay. I
You'd
will not
have-
move then.
you will have to use the 5-foot step thing to do that.
Alright. Alright, for my first action, I would like to exploit vulnerability. We'll roll esoteric lore. 25 against standard DC for its level.
Okay. I gotta check on this one. That is a success.
Alright, not a crit success.
Nope.
Okay. I can recall an important fact about this creature, learning its highest weakness, or one of its highest weaknesses.
Okay. Let's see what the hell you're dealing with here. Ooh, boy. Okay. It has none.
Has none. Alright. Okay. My weapons become magical against it, and I will get +2 damage if I hit. I reach into my pouch and I very quickly smear this iridescent powder along the tip of the spear, and it glows slightly. So I apply some crushed fireflies, and I would like to attack with my spear.
Oh, that's a crit. Very nice. Okay. Give me that crit damage.
18
Whoa!
and +2, so 20.
Holy shit!
Let's go.
Holy shit!
I want to make a quick
Is that
note.
max damage?
I think
Yes.
it is.
It is.
This is the spear from the centaur, which,
Yep.
if that's anything special on top of that.
No.
No.
It's a spear of centaur.
Gives +20 damage. I don't know.
What does this massive hit look like? Arcelia?
I go straight for its throat and I try to jam it in, but I know it's probably meeting shadow. I try to rend the shadow as much as I can as I pull it back from this ethereal being.
Okay. You seem to... it feels like you're tearing cloth for a second. And
Deprive it of shadow.
you can see it recoil in pain.
All right. I spin the spear around and I try a second attack.
This time they are ready, and there is a parry with their blade, with their knife.
That will be the end of my turn.
Okay. Yara, it's your turn.
When Arcelia attacked this creature, did it appear that any sort of flesh was rendered whatsoever?
No.
No. Right, then my typical damaging spells would be useless. So, deducing that, I'm going to go ahead and I will first sustain a spell, which will cast an action. This is me sustaining the shield that I have on Arcelia. From there, I am going to go ahead and I will... I'm going to go ahead and I will cast guidance upon Adronis, who is next to me. And with that, he will get a +1 to whatever it is that he does next in terms of attacks, perception, yada yada.
I'll just, I feel the energy come through. I'll just kind of like crack my neck and like ready myself and defensive posture in front of him.
Spellcasters.
I do not like that. I would like to then take an opportunity to take cover. Let me see if there is that one action? Let us see. Take cover is one action, so I will go ahead and I will just hide behind something that is nearby, if possible.
There is the Vivisection table.
Can I take cover behind Adronis?
Sure.
Half cover. I have a big dunk back there. So she covers.
It's true. It's true. It is quite large. Very well. Best of luck, darlings.
I'm trying.
I can't do shit.
I'm trying to sneak, but my cheeks.
We call it cake cover.
The clapping wasn't her. It was me the whole time.
And that is my turn.
There's a giant hole you can hide in.
Otakon. Okay. Is that it for your turn, Yara?
Indeed.
Dronus.
Oh, it's my turn already. I'm going to take another weapon off of this thing. We'll bob it over here and throw it at it again.
Okay.
1d6 again?
Yes.
Another one.
Okay. You grab one of these
It's my
surgical
ones are being
implements.
wasted here.
Yep.
Yeah. So is that an action to grab, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's good. I'm going to throw it. And that was the dex. 13 plus guidance plus what was the other thing?
+4.
4.
Minus
So it's
2.
18. I guess it's a miss again.
That is a miss. Yes. Just clatters into the wall behind.
Okay, I'm going to remain here and check Yara.
Okay.
And its fear goes down to 1
Very well.
and remains 1.
Alrighty. Leiko is going to... Okay. Okay. Randomly choose which of the spellcasters to go out of as Leiko begins to move with shadow steps. You can see Leiko's movements sort of stutter and get very quick, like as Leiko acts without taking any reactions and moves to here. Well, no, could get here. Yep, could move to there, behind Yara.
Oh.
Where did they go?
Oh,
Well, she's not flanked, right? Because
No,
I'm
'cause
friendly.
you're friendly,
Okay,
yes.
let's make sure. Never know.
Okay. And will then attack with a dagger towards you, Yara.
I am making sure to note that I will possibly use my reaction to raise my shield if needed.
Okay. That is a 30 to hit.
Wait a minute.
Indeed, that does hit.
That wasn't a crit, bro. What the fuck?
Well, I think it might be.
Oh, yeah.
Unless you raise your... Well, maybe if you raise your shield.
No, it is still a critical.
Good.
Yes. 18 with my shield.
Thank God
Okay.
for battle, Bennett.
So 16 piercing damage and 2 cold damage, Yara.
Hang in there. I'll save you.
You are going to regret that.
The cold begins to spread out as you look into the eyeless mask in front of you. They raise the dagger and spin and will strike again. Their final action.
God.
That's a 15 to hit.
That fails.
Okay. This time, Yara, you're able to intercept the attack and block it as Leiko tries to hit you. That is it for Leiko's turn. Arashtak.
Shit.
Yes. All right. Well, I am still in range, and I think I will attempt another buzzing bite. After seeing it take an incredible amount of wound from Arcelia, I'd rather not expend too much. One is unfortunate. It needs to make a fortitude save of 17.
Okay. $26.
Yeah, it's fine. Is it a critical success? It's not. It takes half of one.
Okay.
Really? Oh.
Yes. On a failure, it takes... Well, on a success of it takes half damage, and I did 1 damage.
Arashtak's
Half of
just
one
in the,
is one, right?
Arashtak is just in the background like...
Yes, bite, my friends. Yes.
Fight the shadow. Okay. Ready
And,
for your turn?
No, I think I'm going to move. I'm going to sidle up here. And that is all I can do.
Okay. You duck behind the counter of surgical tools.
Yes.
Okay. Karun will say, "Hey, so like, did you hear what I said? You know, with the getting your manager or whatever? Because it seems like you're not really listening to me and I don't appreciate it. If you could, you know, go do that, that would be great, okay?" That's it for Karun's turn. Arcelia.
I immediately start charging forward 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. I slide behind it.
As you approach Leiko.
Oh, wait. If I go past it, that it gets an attack of opportunity, doesn't it?
If it has them, yes.
Oh.
If
I'll
it
stop
doesn't,
here instead.
Doesn't work that way in this game. So if they have reactions with attacks of opportunity, if you walk into their space, they get to hit you.
Oh, that sucks.
Yep.
Well, I move here. Final answer.
Okay. Leiko will turn to mist and teleport right next to a Rashtok.
Damn. All right. That was one. I'll move here, 5 step. 5 foot step. And with my last action, I will go 15. No, sorry, 16.
You have your esoteric bonus, right?
For damage only.
Damage only, okay.
So in
yes.
total, it's a 16.
That is a miss.
All right, that is my turn.
Okay. Yara.
All right. Well, I've taken quite the hit, so the important part right now is making sure that I bandage up my wounds. I'm going to reach into my pouch and I'm going to tightly wrap my arms by using battle medicine, which is going to be off of treat wounds, which I actually do have assurance, which would be applied to this regardless. So that is going to be 6 points of healing for me. So that would be 24. Back at it. And from there, I will go ahead and I will sustain my my other spell as well, the Forbidding Ward. That's another action. And from there, we'll go ahead. My hand will light up blue, and I am yet again casting guidance on Adronis.
Okay.
And that is my turn.
Fair enough.
Thank you.
Go get them. Make them pay.
All right.
So, just to clarify, your treat wounds, once per day you can use battle medicine on a creature that's temporarily immune. If you're a master in medicine, you can do so once per hour.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I've used battle medicine on myself, and
Yeah.
I am now immune for a day.
Gotcha. Okay. Alrighty. Adronis, it's your turn. This shadow creature has appeared and has moved super quickly around and fluttered behind you, and now as you turn, it flutters behind you again.
I'm going to take a 5 foot step and flank it to make it flat-footed. So, as a reminder, as I remember all this stuff, flat-footed gives how many?
-2. There is-
-2 plus 1 from frightened. So it's -3. And I'm going to stab at it with my rapier. Old iron. It's 23.
Okay. You have already heard from Arcelia that cold iron does nothing to this creature.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, I didn't hear that. Okay.
Yara said it has no weaknesses.
Oh.
Okay. So, Arcelia said it has no weaknesses.
So wait a minute. So my rapier does nothing at
It
all?
has no weaknesses. That just
Oh,
means
okay,
it's
yeah,
not
that's fine,
weak
that's fine.
to cold
Standard
iron.
Oh yeah, yeah.
damage.
Oh yeah. I wasn't even thinking about
Yeah.
that because I figured. Yeah, okay. I thought you meant like it was resistant to damage. I was like, fuck. Well, good luck. I'm
No.
gonna jump in the hole now. All right. Yes. So that's technically a 26.
That is a hit.
Right.
And do you have panache still, yes?
It's already factored in. Let's do.
Wonderful.
I think it is. Should be. Yeah. 5 plus 2.
Connect with this shadowy substance. You sink the blade into the clothing, which kind of like folds in. It's so weird, you know. It's like if you've ever seen like clothing that's been like inflated by wind or something, you know, like a sail, and you stab at it, like it sort of goes in, you know, like it folds in on itself, like it's a balloon or something, you know. Just filled with air, and then you see some of the shadow like nuisance. I'll tear you all apart.
I'm just doing what you would do to us, and then I'll do precise strike finisher on it. It's a 15. Ugh. Damage. So I'm pretty sure that's a miss, right?
You still get the basic, like...
Oh, yeah, -3. So I guess, yeah, 18, but I know that's a miss.
That is a miss, yes.
Okay, so it's hit for 1 damage.
Okay.
And I lose panache. Okay, and what I'm going to do for my... Wait, no, I took... Wait, is a step an action, or is that just a reaction? Okay, cool. Yeah. Yes.
All right.
That is it.
Leiko will flutter with her steps and will use her swift steps to move behind Yara again.
Yara!
And we'll try and strike out at you, Yara.
So this thing is smart. Damn.
Oh, yeah. $20 to hit.
Shit.
That will hit.
Actually, I'm sorry, 19.
Just hits, yeah.
Okay. That is for 8 piercing and 3 cold damage. And second dagger strike. That one is a miss.
I will use my reaction to use my shield, yes. That is a miss.
A 15, does that need a reaction?
15.
16 does. Oh, it's a 15? Never mind then.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
You block it as you are expecting an attack from the front in the first time. You feel yourself get stabbed and the cold spread out again. This creature, she's just moving all around and confusing everyone. Everyone's running one way, she moves the other way and stabs whenever available. You turn and you catch the second attack before it hits you. Arashtak, it's your turn.
Yes. First, I sustain the buzzing bites for an action, and it takes 1 damage. It takes the damage it took before. It does not get to roll again.
Okay.
Yes, bite. Continue to bite. Well, this is interesting. Seeing that it moved the time that Arcelia walked up to it, I will actually indeed move next to Yara.
Okay.
Does it stay there?
Does it stay there? It looks like it.
Ah, very good. And I'll reach out and swing my staff at it.
Okay.
Let's see if I did this right. Oh, I did.
Oh!
That's the +1 staff that I took, so it is treated as magical. And it factored in, so 4 damage swinging the staff down.
Okay. Yes, that is not a crit, but it is a hit.
Yes. It's even with its minus to factor in. Fair. Very good, though.
You bring it down, and Arashtak, I think you hit it on the mask, and you see like the mask crack a little bit.
It's not nice to attack the casters. They bite more than you think.
I'll have your teeth then.
That is all I can do.
Karun says, "You're not even going to, ask anyone? I mean, I'm sitting here, waiting, tapping my foot. You know, how would you like it if you were kept waiting this long? Okay. Well, that'll be it for Karun's turn. Arcelia.
I can move through friendly spaces, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to spend action to move here.
Okay.
Then
Lako will teleport and move behind Karun.
All right. I start running with my heavy armor. I turn around. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25.
Oh.
I'm just bulldozing through my companion's close quarters.
He's just like stiff arm Atronus, like, blah.
Move!
Kind of fast. There's a hole.
I'm trying. I strike with my spear as my final action.
Okay, so this counts as a 21. That is a hit.
All right. It takes 7 damage here. Magical.
Okay.
Stab forward. You can't outrun me. That's my turn.
Okay. You stab again, feeling more of this shadow-like substance tear. More cracks begin to form in the mask. Okay. Yara, it's your turn.
All right. I am feeling quite unwell at the moment.
You hear Karun, like, saying, "Oh, there you are. Are you going to listen now?"
The first thing I'm going to do is take that, forbidding ward that I have on, actually, no, because I cannot sustain, it won't be 1 action, it'll be 2. You know what? Yes, I will. I'm going to shift that ward using 2 of my actions with the flick of my hand, and Karun will light up with a blue energy around her. And from there, I'm going to use the once per day thing that I have with my, my medic dedication that allows me to use battle medicine on someone who is immune temporarily to heal myself with battle medicine. Utilizing my assurance as well, which does not cost me anything, to treat my wounds, and that is 10 healing. I am wrapping my wounds tightly. All right. That is my turn.
Okay. Adronis.
There's penalties for someone standing in front of a thrown object, correct? Unless you have a feat. I know that's 1E rules.
I don't think
about
that's
one.
a thing in 2nd edition. Yeah, I don't think that is an issue in 2nd edition.
Yep, shooting into melee is not a thing.
Yep.
Oh, wow. You're lucky. Okay, I'm going to keep plucking. I'm going to move this way in front of Yara again and keep plucking off tools. Actually, yes, that's exactly what I'm going to do. Yeah, I'm going to keep plucking off tools.
Okay.
Whatever's left.
1 action to move, 1 action to grab some tools. Go ahead and roll a d6. Actually, yeah, I'll give it to you. What the hell? You just grab like a handful of stuff. You got like 6 things in your hand. Improvised
All right,
weapons.
I'll just start
like scalpel
putting them on my belt.
Yeah.
All right, then I'll use my last action to throw one of them, so I'll have 5. And it misses, so you don't have to worry about tallying nothing. I'm just be like, well, didn't want to hit Karun. Maybe I did. And I'll just stay in front of Yara and be like, you must protect her. She's not gonna last long if this thing keeps up with these tactics. And I'll wait.
Okay. Lako. Well, do something unexpected. Lako will start to dissolve. The clothing also starts to fall apart to tatters as Lako turns into gaseous form. And moves rather quickly in gaseous form over to here as they fly. Now I need to check on something. I don't know if any of you have the feat for any sort of attack of opportunity.
I do not.
Not yet. Level 9, I get pretty nasty.
But this gaseous form that Lako turns into, will move to there. Okay. Ooh, and I just noticed something. I need to do a little bit of math. Ooh, that's interesting. I don't even know how to describe that to you.
Oh, good.
Okay. They moved there. That is it for Lako's turn. It is your turn, Arashtak.
I sustain the bugs.
Nothing happens. They just...
I keep it fair. I still keep it sustained, so the spell is working, but doesn't do anything. All right, good.
Actually, what kind of damage is it?
Piercing.
Nope.
Yeah, that's fine. What I figured. Oh, that is tricky. Look back. I will test something, and I step up onto this table, avoiding the area that was pointed out by a Dronus. And with my final action, swing the staff through this, which I do believe this staff as a +1 is counted as a magic weapon.
Sure. Go ahead and make an attack roll.
A 12. Or 13 with its frightened, but... yeah.
That is a miss.
Do I feel anything in particular? Does it just feel like I just swung through the air?
Slight difference in density.
Yeah. Attacks may be effective.
Is the mask still there, or is that missed as well?
It's missed. The clothing
Okay.
is all sort of like
Gotcha.
turned to tatters. And it's just like a gas lying around. Is that it for your turn, Arashtak?
That it is.
Haroon says, I'm going to go ahead and just look for your manager, okay? And we'll start moving. And we'll try and take a look through the door. +2 on perception check. And says, "This door doesn't have any cracks in it. I can't even take a look. Ooh, are those stairs? Let's have a look down there." And we'll move over here and says, "Hey guys, there's like a cell over here."
Great, don't go down there and leave us.
I'm looking for the manager.
Perhaps this is the manager.
No.
But at least help us dispatch this underling before you go running around.
You
Please.
don't need my help. You got it. Arcelia,
I'm
it's your
pointing to
turn.
my bleeding orifices.
Oh, wow, that's bad. You should have that looked at.
Yes, and you should help.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25. I move with one action.
I gotta just check on something. It would take you probably an extra square of movement. Yeah, but
I
you're
go
good.
this way.
Yeah, you're
5,
good.
10, 15. Yeah.
All good.
Okay. And I will try to attack with my spear again. Effectively of 17.
Okay, I need to check on something really quickly.
It is magic.
That is a hit. Roll your damage.
Okay. That's gonna be 5 piercing plus 2 more. So
You feel-
7.
Yeah, I mean, you feel like you connected with something, but it doesn't look like it changes in any way.
I pull back. I'll try again. This doesn't seem to be working very well. Ha! 20. Oh no, that I rolled that incorrectly.
I'd be at 20
Okay.
then.
Yeah, it would be minus.
Yeah, 20.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Let me check on something. 'Cause I forgot it already. Okay. There is a slight change when you strike this time. You see the gas swirl a bit.
Okay, so that's gonna be 10 damage total. As I pull back, I say, "It's gonna take a lot more than that to wear me down. You can surrender." That's my turn.
Okay. Yara, it's your turn.
I'm just trying to see real quick, because the attack I'm thinking of is a cone. It would likely hit them. Them being my friends. Damn it. Okay, what I'm going to go ahead and try to do then is I will... I'm going to follow Inadronis' example and grab a piece off of the table.
Okay.
Do I need to make any sort of a roll to figure out what it is I grab?
Yeah, absolutely. Roll a d6. Or d4, sorry, d4 now. Adronis has stolen everything. Yeah. You're able to grab 3 surgical implements. They're all gone now.
All right. And I'm assuming that takes an action in and of itself because I was looking for something. Right. I will then go ahead and I will use an action to sling that. Is that now that's in what sort of weapon is that? Let me see. What would be the bonuses on that?
Yeah. It's a simple weapon. You should be able to roll that.
All right. Would my gauntlet count as that? Let's see. Yes. All right. That is an 18 to hit.
That is a hit. When you attack, you see no real change in any of the gas that's moving around, though. You see the thing go right through the gas, and nothing seems to happen.
All right. I'll utilize my last turn then to sustain a spell to maintain the shield that I've placed on Karun. And that is all.
Adronis, it's your turn.
I'm looking at this strategically and looking at everyone try to poke and prod into this mist and notice that I'm pretty useless here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move. Yeah, we have two people right there. Y'all should be fine. I'm going to move around and see if I can find any switches or anything that deals with that trap that I found. Oh, you said there wasn't any, right?
It seemed like this was a pitfall kind of trap.
Okay.
You could see like there was maybe a slight wrinkle in it, and you saw like a hole below that.
Okay. I'll just look around to see if there's anything that this Shea, that's what it's called? Yeah. Of any importance to it.
Okay. Make a perception check.
Yeah, 11.
You start to look around. I mean, you see a bed.
Okay. So I got one action left. What's can we tell what's over here? Is that just a shelf or something? Or?
Yeah. So that was that one holds papers and pens.
Okay, I'm gonna go over there and stand.
Okay. Leiko, in her gaseous form, will fly towards the door and pass through underneath.
That can't be good.
No.
No, it certainly cannot.
Arashak, it's your turn.
Yes, the first thing I would love to do is an Arcana check. I want to know that spells everything. It would be for identifying a spell with Arcana. It's a DC of 20 plus the spell's level.
This is a 4th level spell.
Okay, I need to get a 24 or higher. That's a 13.
Nope.
That's fine.
Wow, that was really cool.
Well, I like that. I wish I could do that. I do not know if that door being opened or not is a good idea.
You can always break it open.
There may be things past it that it is trying to retrieve.
Perhaps we should move on.
It would come back behind us more than likely.
We should try to take it out while we can.
Agreed.
Whose go is it? Arashtak or Karun?
It
Maybe
is
we-
I. I've done one action. What was that?
Maybe we rifle through its belongings, try to see if we can find some kind of weakness.
Yes. Or... Oh, it's very meticulous. I walk over to the area, the second action, the endurance spear. Well, I guess I'm gonna start burning these papers then. And I begin to do exactly that. And start rifling through papers.
Okay.
I am not lying, nor diplomatizing, nor intimidating. I am stating a fact.
Okay.
And, yes, I pull out flint and tinder and begin to start burning their notes.
Hello? Hello? Mr. Slim? Kaneepo? Are you there? Do you like cells? Are you there in a cell? I can't see that far. They told me not to go down the stairs, so maybe you could come here and talk? Okay. Hello? Okay, that's it for Karun's turn. Arcelia.
I'm going to run up to the door and put my ear up against it to see if I can hear anything or sense anything on the other side.
Okay. Go ahead and make a perception check.
That's a 30.
Oh, that's a crit. Wow. Arcelia with some clutch rolls today.
Do I smell anything here?
Okay. So. I'll tell you what you do see. Looking through a small hole in the door. You see a large chamber split into 2 levels. There is a wide staircase connecting the room's western half to the eastern half, which is a full 20 feet higher. Ceiling rises 40 feet above the lower floor. Work tables covered in books, beakers, and strange reagents crowd the lower floor. On the room's raised half stand 2 10-foot-tall amber pods, like empty bug cocoons, each glowing softly with orange light. A miniature gray tree with white leaves hangs suspended in the air between the pods, its roots twisting around each pod. And we'll have to find out what happens next week.